see no chat again.
Nobody's in the chat.
Okay.
It's not live yet. Now we're live.
Still see no chat.
No one's saying anything yet.
Chat! Let us know if our system is still
Yeah, I
stupid.
tested it by pressing. I did it myself.
Right. Oh, is that a chat? I can't even tell.
Yeah, it came on.
Alright, good. Excellent.
I guess Nate's also streaming right now.
Oh,
The Spicy Salt said, "Fuck Nate's stream."
Well,
I saw him streaming on the
first
channel
thing
earlier.
Spicy Salt said that I've agreed with in a long time. Alright. Continue.
Are you still gonna get your branding?
I'm gonna.
I'll hold off on the intro.
Alright. I don't wanna lie. I don't wanna lie to the people.
CM398 says, "We got audio, face cam, and in-stream chat. Seems good, bro." That means alerts are probably working too. I just turned it off and turned it back on.
It's funny how
That doesn't even seem logical and within a program like that.
we're on time and everything all these other days, but when we just I roll out of bed and you're just oh fuck, I guess we gotta start. That's when things are okay,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
The reason we're late today is that I was filming a vlog until 6 o'clock, and I came upstairs to find Tom asleep.
Yeah, I'm trying to reset my sleep cycle, so I didn't go to bed at all last night, and then
Oh boy.
just right before the show, it was I could get a little 15-minute nap, just so I have a little bit of energy. Here we are. We're back. Back at it
Oh
again.
god, I gotta change the fucking titles of shit.
Damn, sir. Back at it again with your invading Viper manor.
Why are there so many components to starting a stream?
Well, when you think about it, if we were playing the streaming game correctly, we'd only be playing Fortnite, so we'd never have to touch this part ever.
That's fucking true. Digi, me and my friend are gonna start a podcast called the Pop Culture Podcast. Any tips on how to podcast? In other words, it's the PCP, the Pop Culture Podcast.
Yeah, I understand what they're going at.
Yeah, this is Spicy Salts again, by the way.
Well, that's nice.
Where's the jar? We haven't for the last few streams. I took it off because I thought it was ugly. Where do we go to if YouTube won't be viable anymore? I have no idea. It sounds like we got a Twitch Prime sub from Captain Jestalt for 2 months in a row who says,
Woo!
"Hello, games. I'm gonna eat one of your fucking beef jerkies, dude.
It's good.
Are they like bites?
They're like steak, little teriyaki beef steak bites. They are most satisfying.
Harusara says, "Tips on how to podcast. Don't publish the first 6 episodes you record." That was Maddox's advice from,
I remember. Those 6 episodes that we'll never hear.
Which I absolutely disagree with. Publish the first one you record, but then if it's really bad, then eventually delete it, I guess. But publish them all so you can get feedback on it.
Now, there's a guy over here that says the code for the Dwayne door.
Angel Butts gave us 6 cents and said, "Can't stick around tonight, lads, but here's all the bits I was willing to watch ads to get since I'm broke as fuck." Thanks for the 6 cents, Brokeman.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate that hustle.
Heliok says, 6 bits? If I can manage to travel back in time, imagine all the candy I can buy. I appreciated that. thinking Ed, and Nettie and their endless quest to get a quarter to buy a Jawbreaker.
Struggle of youth is real.
Lemate thinks advice is better. Tips on how to podcast. Deeply consider and focus on the chemistry of the hosts. It's the fundament. I don't know if fundament is a word, but
I'm okay with that. I'll allow it. Yeah,
how is the Tales series video going? I've barely edited it.
Expect it late 2019.
Well, it shouldn't take that long to do. I just have a lot of other shit going on.
That's why it's on TikTok.
So yesterday I got real lazy. But it's upcoming on the docket.
Good. We need some new hot.
What was I trying to respond to before I read that? Oh, the guy talking about the podcasting tips. Here's my podcasting tips. 1. Yes. Focus on the chemistry of the hosts. The best podcasts are ones where the two hosts are people who just would be talking to each other this way anyways. Like, they're not two people who don't talk at all and decide to have a show together. It's usually two people who know each other and have had conversations before. Like, the PCP was a group of Skype friends who sometimes got into hours-long calls together at random, and like, you know, we had done a bunch of horse casts that people enjoyed, so it was like, it made sense to just make a podcast out of it, which is why it's fairly successful. But like, if you try to just force a podcast out of random people, it's not going to come together the same way. The biggest problem in the universe, Dick and Maddox were just, it was just like they literally made a podcast out of arguments that they had all the time at lunch. What's the other? Hello Internet. I think those guys were friends. So yeah, that's a big part. And then also just talk about something unique. Don't talk about the same shit as everybody else. It's nice if you can find some kind of, like, the best format for a podcast is something loose enough that it could apply to anything, but coherent enough that you feel compelled to continue listening. I feel like the PCP is a great podcast to listen to week by week, but I don't know, a lot of people have said that they binged the show. I think that in the early days it might have felt more like narratively driven in a way. Because there was just more like interconnected memes and shit. I could be wrong.
It's a mystery.
Ohayou gozaimasu!
We never did our intro.
Oh, you're right. You're watching I Am Games, the most on-brand stream on Twitch.tv. Tom, if you're gonna have your fucking big-ass foot in my line of sight, put a sock on that bitch.
I'm sorry, my appendages are so offensive to your sensibility.
I just hate feet.
Interesting.
I you know why? It's because when someone has no socks on, but they're wearing pants, then your feet are way brighter than the rest of your body. And when you put them up,
socks?
It's still distracting, but when I catch sight of the white sock, I don't then see feet.
I understandable, I suppose.
And feet, it's like 5 just gross, cartoony, bulbous things on the end of your foot. Everyone's foot looks like a cartoon foot. And it's gross.
Doesn't that mean that all feet drawing are just photorealistic to you?
They usually are, because like usually people won't even bother drawing feet unless they're really good at drawing feet. Like,
I don't know. You watch Steven Universe?
Well, that's just because they're using like a fucking like a flash puppet, you know. They don't. Not every animator has to draw the feet.
I don't even have to draw the same shit. All right. I guess I gotta fight this guy. Who could fuck me up.
Agent Orange asks, "How's the weed been?" Well, I have smoked way too much. I decided that there was one of the canisters was mine, and the rest was, you know, ours. And so I could smoke the one that was mine as much as I wanted, and therefore I did.
Wait, this is already gone?
Yeah, I just finished it earlier.
That seems about right.
So the rest of it I put under May's control, and I was like, you just dictate when we do or don't smoke, because if it's up to me, I'm always going to want to. And you know, that's an addictive habit, because I know the negative consequences of doing it, but I will just do it anyways, because those negative consequences aren't felt until you're like considerably into it, you know. So I just figured I'd cut myself off after like a week. Be like, there you go, you had your fun, you had a week, but now it's under lock and key. Which still could mean that I smoked it every single day, and that would just be much less out of control than smoking it all day, every day.
Yeah.
Depends on how much May needs it.
May have some crazy shit going on with the weed right now. Have we talked about that?
Oh, the chart. I'll save that for the next Coliseum episode.
Alright.
Yeah. May has a cool chart.
Call it the Miles.
So she's
High
already
Club.
like broken it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. She had -1 points on the board. It was really funny.
Oh no.
I fixed it though.
That's not right.
Haphazard says, "Yay, comfy Chrono Cross stream. Pause the Delta Room podcast for this." Yes.
This is definitely a different tone than the Delta Room.
Pay us instead of the PCP, because the proceeds are split less ways. Oh, so we were talking about right after the last stream the possibilities of if we opened up an IM Games Patreon. And we talked about the idea of creating like bonus deals for people who are subscribed to multiples of our Patreon. That like if you are like, you could be just an IM Games patron or just a Digibro patron or just a Tom Oliver patron, but if you are, you know, if you are patrons of the other two, there will be bonuses for you.
Yeah, it's like a rewards program.
Yeah, a rewards program is what we were talking about. Like a stamp card at a fucking, And I thought about creating some kind of point system, you know? Where it's like, if you're a patron to just one, you get a point. If you're a patron to two, you get 2 points, you know? Or I guess you'd have to be a patron of at least more than one to get any points in this system, because otherwise it's like anybody can eventually get these things. But I don't even know what it would be that we're offering.
Something cool.
Something cool. But yeah, I think that would be interesting. Freeze153 says, "Man, I was playing this game over Thanksgiving and went to the forest and found some fish. Dude, instead of what Tom did, this game is cool as fuck."
Yeah, there's tons of branching paths.
Can't show feed on Twitch anyway?
I don't know if that's true.
That can't be true. Did Tom smoke the pot? Tom did one time smoke the pot. Did you feel any effects? How did that go?
I felt like a little
Very little. I just felt like a little tired.
Yeah.
And that was it.
We gave Tom, we had him share an indica blunt with us as well as do a bong hit. It's very commonly stated that people don't really get high the first time they smoke because like their body hasn't, I don't know, like built the infrastructure for it yet in some fashion. I don't really know how that works. I got high as balls the first time I smoked, but I think May said she didn't get high the first time.
Not really.
And I've known Victor didn't when we got him high. But the second time, Victor was fucking like out of control. So obviously we're gonna have to give it to Tom a second time. But we did give him an indica, which is more of a chill out and go to bed kind of weed anyways. Because Tom deals with lots of minor aches and pains and major aches and pains.
Yeah.
And like chronic headaches and fucking depression and suicidal thoughts. And all of these are things that indicas are meant to be helpful for.
Like I said, I have personal investment in getting a robot body. Because this whole like organic flesh prison is not working out so hot.
And I personally think that weed is transhumanism. I think it's the first step. That's why I made that video, Transhumanism Began, or Metahumanism Began, as I called it. Did you see that video?
I did not.
The one with Artso Fartso, the king of weed?
I just assume you are Artso Fartso.
Alright.
All the time.
Well, there's this video I did where it's me on like a crazy pattern background. I'm wearing a green screen around my neck that's just like showing like visions of fucking space. And I'm wearing a weed bandana and sunglasses, and I'm Artso Fartso, the king of weed, ranting about how because of weed we now have metahumanism because of the fact that like different types of weed can change your mind in different ways. And you can use it like BioShock capsules, you know.
All right.
Because if you have a vape box is just a battery. And the things that you attach to it are the different liquids that you vape through the vape box.
Right.
So there's different categories of things that can be vape. Like some people vape just pure vapor just because they like to blow clouds out that have no substance in them. Some people are smoking tobacco, which is like the most common. And then other people are smoking weed with vape boxes. But you can plug them all into the same box. You just get different cartridges, attach it to the battery, and puff. So it's like you've got this device on you that's like an all-purpose, like, vaporizing device. Like anything that can be consumed via the format of vapor can be attached to this box. And these things can have different effects on your brain. So it basically is fucking transhumanism, you know? Except that it's not attached to you, but...
As someone who just was playing Deus Ex Mankind Divided, it's definitely not the transhumanism I've been hyped about. But I'll allow it.
Well, in Deus Ex, you can, like, get upgrades to your shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what smoking a vape box is getting upgrades to your shit in some specific way.
I mean, in Deus Ex, everyone's addicted to neuropathy and they have to have it all the time.
Captain Gestalt says, it's easy to fall into that trap with weed. With alcohol, there's a limit to how much you pound your body/liver. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I drink... The way I drink is, like, I will drink, like, fucking 5 days out of a week, but, like, very little. Like, I'll have, like, a beer or two and then pass out. Like, maybe 2 nights out of the week, I'll drink enough to get drunk, you know? But never, like... obliterated, which I used to do back in the day, back when I was younger, but like I don't like fucking having the spins for 4 hours, so you know, I try to cap it at like 3 beers or like 2 or 3 mixed drinks, the place where you're feeling groovy, and then you know, I don't get bad hangovers, so so yeah, but I think, yeah, as that guy said, with weed, it's a lot, like, there's, the negative consequences are only felt when you stop smoking it, other than the fact that you can't go anywhere if you're smoking weed all the time, because you can't drive if you're high all the time.
That's great.
Jalen Harris says, "Don't I already give you enough money?"
You ask foolish questions.
To which Helios said, "Enough money is life completely paid for," which is the exact answer I would have said.
Absolutely. You'll know you've given us enough money when we stop asking for money.
Yeah. We already have Twitch subs, which is basically Patreon subs, but your only rewards are 2 emotes. Yeah, that's what I've never understood about Twitch. Like, I think it's really weird that they don't allow us to offer more than just emotes. Like, that's all that they give you to give to people. So, like, it's really bizarre.
I don't really get it.
I just assume that people just aren't that, like, people don't care that much about the rewards on Twitch. You know, or just that the Twitch culture is such that having the emotes is mega important to them, but we have, because we do not participate in Twitch culture, we have not fixed our emotes still after like months. But you know, I had a weird moment the other day where I suddenly realized that because we have subscribers on Twitch, we kind of are now obligated to our schedule. Because, like, I assume that people subscribed on the basis that they think that we're going to release streams on that schedule. And, like, I had never considered it that way until, like, the other day. Because I was always just like, oh, well, you know, if we skip an episode, whatever. But I'm like, well, technically people are paying under the consent, like, under the conceit that there are 3 streams a week, you know. Not that I think everyone necessarily thought of it that way, but I'm sure some people did. Keyblade Spirit says, "Oh, this is turn-based? Is this part of the new genre that was invented by Toby Fox with his hit game, The Earthbound Halloween Hack?"
Yeah, it's kind of like a spin-off of it. The interesting thing is because it's part of the Chrono series, they actually went back in time to 1999 and released it then. It's weird.
Do you guys want the jar back? Are you more likely to donate if there is a jar on the screen?
I figured that was probably true, which is why I put it up in the first place.
It just looked really weird because it was just like a big orange block thing, and I could never really understand what it was. Because I never actually saw it working.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Dash and slash. Bang.
Helios says, "I've been checked out of Chrono Cross on and off, but you're fighting a door." You were fighting a door.
The door like can generate other enemies too. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna poke this motherfucker. Do your shit, kids. Steal. Man, that midriff. Top tier. Top tier PS1.
A lot of streamers have sub-discords. You guys have discords with, I think, each of your ventures, including open discords. True. I mean, you do get sub bonuses in the I Am Games Discord, but it just amounts to like another chat that nobody uses.
I'm sure there is more we could do, but
can you not do subscriber exclusive streams? I think that would be a no-brainer for Twitch subs. I don't think that's a thing.
Can you do that?
I've never heard of it.
I didn't think it was possible.
That would be like a lot to do though, on top of what we already do.
If we were gonna do that, we'd probably change one of the streams we're already doing.
Jalen Harris says the biggest problem with I Am Games is that it isn't 7 days a week.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Hey, man.
Wouldn't it be nice if you had nothing else going on in your life?
For 10 grand a month, I will stream 3 hours a day. Every day.
For 10 grand a month, I'd stream a lot more than that.
Do you need more than that?
I'm just saying. I wouldn't want to, but I would at that point. Whoa. This must be a party member. Everybody who has a portrait is a party member. Or a potential party. My dweeb.
We should make that, if we do make it I Am Games Patreon, like, our goals on the Patreon should be like, hey, if we make this much, we'll fucking stream more often. Like,
if we get to a certain point, we should do 5 days a week. And we get to another point, it's
Yeah.
like we'll do 7 days a week.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like really high numbers.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
4 digits each.
Yeah.
That should be the final, like, goal. Should just be I am game.
Yeah.
And it's just like 7 days a week, dude.
Like, we will just be Twitch streamers if you guys like it that much, you know? I have no problem with just this being my career. I don't think that I can be exciting enough for... I don't know, if we had more viewers, there would be more conversation to respond to. So, like, the chat would be more, you know, would be more engaged. It wouldn't be the same people every week asking the same kinds of questions, or just being out of questions because they've already asked them all over the course of 3 months, you know? And us not really having anything going on in our lives because we're trying to balance this with working a second job, basically. So,
It's a lot of shit.
So instead, it would be that we would stream like 3 hours a day and then spend the entire rest of the day trying to do as much other shit as possible. We couldn't stream literally 7 hours a day every week, though. We'd have to have like scheduled like days off and shit. So I read an article about the biggest guy on Twitch at the laundromat, Ninja.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know about him?
I know he exists.
This dude makes... Okay, so he's got like... He has something like... I don't remember if it was in the range of 13 or like 30 million Twitch subscribers.
Sounds about right.
But this dude is like... He had to move into like a gated community because people were like always like coming to his house and shit. And like he's making... Like, apparently, like, most of the estimates of how much he makes that you'll see online are, like, usually saying that he makes, like it was 750 grand a month on
Jesus
Twitch. And
fuck.
he was saying that the reality is closer to $1 million a month. Like, because of all his sponsorships and shit. So...
I, like, almost threw up.
He's making like $1 million a month, mostly in Twitch subscriptions.
Just because he plays Fortnite.
Yeah. And like
really is
he
no
goes,
God.
he plays at like Coachella and shit. He's like at like all these major events and stuff. But every time he does an event, he loses like 50,000 subscribers. Because if he misses like a couple days, he just like bleeds subscribers. But like he's so big that 50,000 is like, you know,
has enough
yeah.
money for the rest of
I
his
mean,
life.
he's concerned about it where like he like really measures like everything he does in his life because he's like anything I do is possibly interacting with my streaming time, and it's like that's fucking a lot of money, you know. Like it might not look like a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but it is a lot of money, you know. Like 50,000 times 5, that's a lot of fucking money, you know. But yeah, he so that's what, $250,000 potentially. That can't be. Yeah, I guess that could be right if he's making a fucking $1 million a month. No, that can't be right. I must be doing my math wrong. I'm just gonna close my mouth. Apparently that Sodex96 says, but that dude is very good at Fortnite. Whoa. Ritsu Zixes says, has even one person seen the I Am Games wiki yet? There's a page on Mark there. I didn't know there
Is this
was
real?
such a thing.
How do these wikis come about? Who has the time to do this?
I made it.
I mean, I don't even know if you're kidding, because I could see you doing
I
that.
would if I would have had the idea first, but I couldn't.
It just seems like you're probably too busy playing your H games.
Probably.
I Google searched I Am Games wiki and got nothing even related to I Am Games. Kind of a really general phrase. Let's try putting quotations around I Am Games. Nope. Not getting it. I need a direct link. Sonics96 made it. I think. Unless, no, everybody's just arguing about who made it. Ritu Zixis says, I made it, dude. Then a bunch of other people started saying that, no, they made
I'm
it.
Spartacus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Ugh. Ah. But yeah, I would live stream every day for 3 hours a day for 10 grand a month, I think.
Yeah.
Even if you had to split it in half. For 5 grand a month. I mean, that's still
No.
more.
Not every day. Not for 5 grand. I had to have 10 grand personally a month for 3 hours a day every day.
I would for 5 grand.
I mean, that's more than like a job. Like,
Yeah.
entry level job. Like,
My perception of money is clearly more desperate than yours is for obvious reasons. So
Well, I mean, I already make like 5 grand a month.
I know. Can't even fathom that. I make like 1 grand a year.
It can't be that low.
My personal Patreon is only about 1 grand a year.
Damn. What do you make on PCP?
Like 400 to 500, depending on how many episodes I edit.
Every month?
Yeah.
God damn.
yeah, so you're making way more than 1 grand a year.
Yeah, but my Patreon's only like 170, and it won't go any higher because every time I gain a patron, I lose one. So it's just like it's perpetually stuck there. It's been there for like a year and a half. I'm like, this is just where I'm gonna be.
So your like day job really is to work for the PCP.
Yeah, which is sad because I think my game is much better creatively,
Yeah.
and I
use of
put
your
way more
time.
effort into it, and it's just generally a better, more useful product for the world. But that's usually inversely proportional to how much money you get.
Well, your game
AKA
also doesn't exist yet, so
I mean, there's
games usually make their profit after they are released.
you'd be surprised. There are people like there's someone I follow, Minions Art, who has a game called Astrocat. They've been working on it for years, and it's still not out. You can't even play it. They make 4 grand a month on Patreon for a game that isn't out yet.
Well, what do they offer anything for the patrons?
Not that I'm aware of. It's a game people want, and so they make a lot of money.
It seems wild.
I mean, you know about Yandere Dev, right?
Not specifically.
He's still making a couple $1,000s. He's making thousands for this game. They just had like a buggy, broken sandbox version of. Like he's come under a lot of scrutiny because he like keeps fucking everything up and is a douchebag and can't code for shit apparently. But he makes thousands of dollars on the promise of a game that is coming out probably never at the rate it's going. Because he got a publisher, Tiny Build. This company was helping him make the game, and they were like, "All right, well your code is shit." And the whole point you wanted to work with a publisher is so the code could get better. So we're going to have our guy fix all your code. And he was like, but now I don't understand the code. You're fired.
Well,
and now he's complaining that he doesn't have shit getting done. Like, well, it's because you're an idiot. I have no sympathy for you at all.
Spicy Salt says, when will Digi and Tom eat Doritos on stream again?
I don't know.
When is keto over?
That's a good question.
How much have you lost?
I've probably gained a couple pounds for Thanksgiving, but I was at 15 for a while. So like, what are you?
Hey Tom, how was your day?
Man, kid is just letting everybody know our secret identity is out. What the fuck? My day was shit. All I did was try and stay up because I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule. Because yesterday I got up at like 7 p.m. I'm like, this can't stand.
Yesterday I got up at like 4:30.
My problem, I've decided, is that my mind is a morning person and my body is not. So if I get up in the morning, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, but my body feels like it's suspended in molasses for like the first 6 hours of the day. But if I get up late, I feel fine when I get up physically, but my mind just sinks into depression because I know I'm wasting away and being a piece of shit.
We just gotta get over day.
I like being up in the beginning of the day because like I'm definitely susceptible to like the night in terms of like, oh, it's night, it's time to like wrap things up, even though I've only been up for like 30 minutes. It's already like, nah, it's over. And especially now that it's winter, like the last like 3 days I just haven't seen the sun.
Yeah. Because it gets dark at 4:30 here.
Yeah. There's like some backstory going on right now and I'm not even paying attention. 50-50 chance of life and death. In your home world, you survived. Oh, we're talking about me.
Digi, is it okay if I call you Conrad? No. I was gonna say in response to that, it's interesting that that's how your mind works, because I feel kind of the opposite. Because, like, growing up, I always had difficulty sleeping. I was told that, like, even as a baby, like, I could never get to sleep on time. So, like, my parents would give me, like, the bedtime of 10 p.m. pretty much my whole life. And, like, I would just go to bed and lay there for, like, hours some nights. Just, like, you know, mind wandering. And that was pretty much my whole upbringing. Like, I never was able to just go to bed and go to sleep. Because I'm only really able to go to sleep when I'm just exhausted. Like, I can't make myself fall asleep. If I'm tired enough to fall asleep, I'll fall asleep. You know? Doesn't matter how long it's been. And I'll sleep for a long time. Like, when I sleep, I fucking sleep well. But, like, even if I only had, like, 6 hours, if I'm not tired when I lay my head down, I'm not gonna fall asleep. So, like, growing up, there was just lots and lots of being up, like, all night. You know, even if there was school the next day. And that tends to be the time when I would get, like, an extra kick of energy and really want to do something. Because it's like, oh, if I'm going to stay up this late, I better be working on something. You know, like, if I'm not going to go to bed, I better be able to justify it by, like, making progress in whatever I'm doing. So, eventually, like, when I got out of... Well, at some point in high school, I started, like, fucking with my sleep schedule to give myself more time in places where I wanted it. So, like, I was watching a lot of anime that had, like, cute girls in it for the first time, and I didn't want Victor to know about it. So I would only watch anime, like, in the hour and a half before I had to go to school, and then the hour and a half after I got home and before he got home from school. And so, like, yeah, I'd fucked with my sleep schedule to be waking up at, like, 4 a.m. so I could watch anime, and then going to bed at, like, 8 p.m. because I had no friends, so I had no, you know, no plans or anything. And then, like, by the time I was in college, it was just like a free-for-all. I didn't give a fuck. Or in when I was working at Target, like, because of the fact that I fucking worked at 4 in the morning and 2 in the morning at other times while I worked there. Like, I would just sometimes wake up at like 10 p.m., like do an entire MLP video that morning and then go to work, and then like come home at 12 in the afternoon and just pass the fuck out. So like, yeah, that was probably like the most productive I was while doing the MLP videos. So then after I quit Target, it's just been a total free-for-all. Sometimes I'm only up at night, sometimes I'm only up in the day. It just depends on when do I get tired. Sometimes I get tired on a natural circadian rhythm for a whole week at a time. I'm just like waking up at 6 in the morning, going to bed at like 9 o'clock, and repeating that for a whole week. And then I just start feeling really weird. Because if I'm up during the day too much, I feel like I'm not getting anything done. Because when it's nighttime, I feel like the whole world shuts out and all you can do is work. Like, when you're up at night, it's like you can't really go anywhere because everywhere's closed. No one's fucking bothering you because everybody's asleep. So, like, you can't even really do shit on the internet because there's not enough people on the internet. Like, if you try to go on Twitter to waste time, nobody's tweeting at 4 a.m. So, like, my favorite time was the hours of, like, 4 to 8 a.m. when I would just get shit tons of work done. And, like, so if I saw the sun too much, I would start feeling like I wasn't getting enough done, even though I did usually, like, work basically just as much during the day. And at night, I often just sat around and got drunk and did nothing. So, like, you know, it wasn't really that strong of, like, a correlation. But, like, when I'm up during the night too much, I start to feel like I'm not getting enough vitamin D and I haven't seen the sun, and like I don't do anything anymore. Like, oh, all I do is work and I'm always inside because I'm always up at night and I'm not doing anything else, you know? So it's like what I've succumbed to is just this constant rebalancing where it's just like sometimes I'm up in the day for 2 weeks and then I'm up at night for 2 weeks. And I just gotta hope that I don't have too much shit that relies on a schedule going on in my life. Because sometimes shit like I Am Games, we woke up at fucking 4:30 today. You woke up, you passed out and woke up before the stream. Like,
yeah, life is not.
Like, May and
logical.
I were literally like saying the other day, like, we can't go any farther than this, or else we will interrupt I Am Games with our sleep, you know. But it was weird because so the reason this happened was a couple nights ago we were up till like 8 a.m. just because we just felt energetic and wanted to do more than what we had done so far, you know? And then, like, we go to bed, we wake up at 4:30. So then last night, we wake up, you know, we've woken up at 4:30. We're like, okay, we've woken up late. It's like that. We went to bed at 5 a.m., still woke up at 4:30. So that's like a nearly 12-hour sleep. Just because my body wants to wake up at this time now. So this is where we're at now. And eventually it will want to wake up during the day. Anyway, I just knew I could rant about that for like 20 minutes, which is why I went for it. Were you ever into Beyblade?
Beyblade was a little after my time.
Yeah, same here. I think Shade had some Beyblades. He definitely had one of the arenas. Let it rip! I don't think he ever watched the show, though. Man. We had a Beyblade PS1 game that was really fucking terrible and confusing. Because all you do is just rip your fucking thing into the arena.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a digital version of the actual Beyblade game. But, like...
Whoa. The clown wants to fuck me.
Sick. Weird. She's kind of cute, I guess. Heliox says for 10 grand a month, I'd log Horizon myself into Fortnite. Keyblade Spirit says, oh, I was into Beyblade. That's where my name comes from. You can't be serious. You can't be telling me that it has nothing to do with the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. But that it is, in fact, a Beyblade reference.
Didn't we already talk about this on stream at one point?
No, we talked about the other Keyblade. Keyblade.
Oh, this is not Keyblade.
No, this is Keyblade Spirit.
Okay, well I can't see the chat, so I never know which Keyblade we're talking about. So I
No,
always
Keyblade Spirit says he was into Beyblade. That's where his name comes from. And I'm like, because Keyblade was like his name was literally
right.
Keyblade or something like that. And
man, some weird shit.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's
I'm
going
sub
on.
to a streamer who streams like 10 hours a day every day. That's fucking madness. Somehow that was all before the thing about the mark page on the thing, but I just like ended up missing it the first time but then going back. So I'm like all over the chat right now.
I just want to save my progress. It's been a while. If I die, I'm fucked.
Jalen Harris says, Tom, add some rewards so people are more willing to up their patronage.
Yeah. Every time I think of like adding something for rewards, I'm just like, I don't have enough of an audience to justify gating anything. All the stuff that I do should be public facing so I can attract people in the first place.
That was how I had felt until I was big enough to feel like I could gate shit.
Right. And I'm definitely not there yet, so...
Tom, how do you manage to keep up with game design for 6+ hours? That much troubleshooting always burns me out.
I mean, I just take breaks sometimes. But I also have this weird, like, tism where if I stop working on something before I figured it out, I feel like it's beaten me, and I get enraged by that. So I just sit up here in my corner just cursing and saying horrible things.
We do sometimes hear Tom just yelling, fucking shit! Like across the house. Like,
yeah, it's not great. And it's just how I deal with things, I suppose.
Tom, do you plan on adding any kind of story to Azumi, even a bare bones one?
I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of story in this game, but the main, like, actual character action 3D game has a complete story. I know all the boss characters, I know all the story. It's gonna be the best thing ever, and I can't wait to do it in like 10 years. It's gonna be like Deltarune, it'll be like Toby Fox. We're gonna go back to 2018 and like 2030, be like, yeah, I had all this plot written out 12 years ago. As I'm like 45 making a goddamn video game. Gross. I need to save. I need to save this fucking game. Oh, fuck.
Tom, are you gonna do Ludum Dev 43?
No, I do not plan on doing Ludum Dev or Ludum Dare, whatever it is. So yeah, it's like a game jam thing. Don't have time to just make another game in 48 hours. Like, important guest upstairs. Strict orders not to let anyone through. Okay, then where the fuck do I go?
Have you noticed Zen Huxtable's channel kind of been blowing up lately? I did not. Is that true? I'm curious to see.
When are we gonna have Zen on IM Games?
I don't know.
They have to turn him into a games boy, right? Because he's not a games boy right now.
Yeah. He always says that he wants to get out more, but he never seems to have an idea of anything to do. Nor do I.
We just gotta... How do I get this bridge down? How do I do anything? What do I do? Where do I go?
No thank you says, hey Digi, I have the same thing where I'm most productive at like 4 a.m. How do I reconcile this with the fact that I need to scream into a microphone to be productive? You gotta move out.
Yeah.
Gotta move somewhere you can scream. Because, I mean, I had the luxury of my parents' house was gigantic and nobody could hear me at 4 a.m. So I just screamed at 4 a.m. In the last house I lived in, I had to do all my screaming at like, you know, daytime hours. Because I had neighbors. But
I found that I am games with you.
Is it gay?
I don't know, it's just... It has a page on Mark, and welcome. It has 2 pages.
I want to hear the Mark article.
Mark is a side character in the I Am Games universe. He is a demi-boy known for his boob job and Magnum doll. Mark is played by the actor who played Mark in the 2003 film The Room, directed by Tommy Wiseau. Mark got another boob job, which is why he had them in the Soul Calibur 6 live stream. Notable phrases: Ohio Bullseye Mark.
That sounds like what I would have written about Mark. I don't think there's any more lore than that.
No, that's all you need to know.
I am not aware of any controversy surrounding Joseph Anderson. Oh yeah, Digi, I forgot to tell you your Log Horizon video was Kino. Thank you.
This is all bullshit. Oh, okay.
Finally, I caught Chrono Cross live, so I can tell Tom he sucks at this game and watching the recordings physically hurts.
Okay.
I guess that guy's been watching him on YouTube.
Well, you could have left a YouTube comment and been like
Tom,
everybody else.
Let me tell you that I think nearly 100% of all the views on the I Am Games live streams, the recordings on YouTube I mean, are purely the result of the every YouTube video featuring Digibro playlist.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
But it's very interesting because, like, the videos on Twitch will often get, like, over 100 views. Like, sometimes before I even post them to YouTube. So, like, people who are like, oh, I just missed the stream, or who watched the stream and wanted to watch it again, are just watching it on Twitch, it seems like. However, when I upload them to YouTube, because I don't make them public on the channel, people can only find it if they're linked to it. So, usually what I do is I link it on the Discord, I link it on the Twitter, and then I attach it to the every YouTube video featuring Digibro playlist, and they get like 300 plus views sometimes. Depends on the episode. So, sometimes I've forgotten to do this, that, or the other. One time I had forgotten to put a video in the playlist for a while, and even though I had posted it on Twitter and on the Discord, it only had like 30 views. Then one, with the Devil May Cry stream that we last did, the DMC one, because I thought it wasn't that good of a stream, I was like, I'm not even going to bother tweeting this or posting it like days later, you know, like, hey, come watch this video that's like, we were really tired and dead and like, just not having it. But I put it in the every YouTube video featuring Digibro playlist, and it got over 200 views. So I was like, so basically this playlist, and the reason is that playlist is on the front page of my channel. So when you go to the Digibro channel, one of the first things you see is whatever's new in the every YouTube video featuring Digibro playlist. And I think that there's just a few hundred people who, they just check it every day, you know? Let's see if something's new in there. So I think that's the biggest audience of this live stream show is not even the people paying for it who are participating in it, because we only have like 60 something viewers right now, 62 viewers, but this will have hundreds of views on YouTube. Isn't that weird to think about?
It is very odd.
Irregular Hunter F says, it's true, you're literally playing a Pokemon game and not catching any Pokemons. Are they just like mad that you're not picking up enough characters or something?
I don't know. I know that I have no idea how the fucking elements work. Because I know there's the field constantly changes and like certain elements are stronger against others, but even as like a child, I didn't get that part and I just used what I thought looked cool. Because they don't actually really explain in game how the battle system works. So, you know.
Apparently Zen's new video about Detective Pikachu got a shitload of views, so that's why he's spiking. What are you eating, Digi? I was eating cheese popcorn. Muck Norris asked, Tom, how often did you record podcasts at your work in that Hazard building?
Not super often, just because the audio quality in there was really bad. But, it was a while. I mean, I did a few there. It was fine, I guess.
Holy shit, Zen's fucking Pokemon fucking movie vid got 1.4 million views.
Whoa.
Where he was just breaking down, you remember that video, right? Just like, he broke down like a weird gimmick of the soundtrack of the trailer. But like, that's a lot. Ours only got 22,000.
Yeah, but it was just a reaction video on your side channel.
Yeah, but I should get more views than Zen. I'm a good boy. No, he's a good boy.
We're not
too.
good at the whole, like, being on point with things that people actually give a fuck about.
Dude, I released my video the same day as his, but his
yours sucked. Clearly.
His is interesting because he's like, he has like a point in it.
His video had a point. It wasn't a
Yeah.
reaction video.
Right.
Like,
It definitely would be more deserving. Like, I don't know if the point was that good because it was kind of just like a random like theory, like kind of a headcanon. But like, I guess that's enough.
So I need.
Cyrnax47 says you can get to the recordings on YouTube by just clicking the playlist tab on the channel. I watch them without going through every Digi video or any Discord. So maybe there's people just checking back on the playlist tab every day. If so, that's good to know. Hey Digi, did you ever consider tweeting on your main Digibro account when the stream instead of the I Am Games Twitter? I sometimes will reblog it on my main Twitter, but my Twitter's completely dead now anyways. Like, I don't tweet anymore. Red is good against blue, white is good against black, green is good against yellow, and vice versa for all. IDK what the field thing does. Is that advice for the game, I assume?
Yeah, the different element colors. I just don't know what the field. Because the field does something.
Apparently there was an optional tutorial at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
It's all about the title and thumbnail, Digi, you know that. Well, sure. Once Detective Pikachu is out, will y'all do Digi and May rate every Pokemon design for every movie design? I don't know. Well, I don't know if we'll have like easy access. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna fucking sit there with a pen and paper and write them all down, you know. Have you ever created anything as creative as Endless War? I don't know if anything exists that's as creative as Endless War, in terms of like being just like such a weird fucking.
You know what's interesting is
thing,
that there's
other
a
than
guy
Seaman
who does game dev videos that I watch on YouTube, and he's working on a Discord RPG right now.
Interesting.
So, I guess this might become a thing.
Field just increases effectiveness of the color when you cast. You change one block color. The field powers up the elements. If there's a lot of red attacks will be stronger. If you cast a red attack, the field will become more red. Game is too easy for this to matter, to be honest. Same with other elements.
Alright. Then I'll just ignore it. Arrow locked door. Oh, thank God. Give me this shit. Save.
Gonna fight my ball sack with my ball sack. No one's even talking in the chat anymore. I caught up.
My God.
I did it.
That never happens. I'm gonna fight all these doors. It's not. I think I can't fight.
What is this? Minaj says, fix your playlist, Digi. There must be like 1 or 2 vids added by other channels. So on mobile there is a banner above every video showing the one who added it to the playlist. It's annoying. I didn't know it was that bad on mobile, but yeah, I can probably do that. Like, I have it set so what happened was I had set it up so that After Dark could also put things on that playlist, but like it didn't work right. And so you think I would go on After Dark and I'd add something to the Digibro that playlist, and then I'd have to go back on my channel and add it again for it to actually show up. So yeah, I should definitely just disable that entirely because it's obviously broken. Did you hear the new JPEG Mafia track? I don't think so. How are you guys liking the music in this game? It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to be a fool not to agree with that.
Yeah, this game has like some of the best tunes.
The battle theme's incredible. The theme of that one like port town and the starting village and the menu theme. There was one time we had like but I think it was like you were in a town but you had just like left the game on like after the stream and it just stayed on for like an hour.
Yeah.
And like it was just playing this groovy music and we're like, yeah,
it's all good.
Most people don't like the battle theme? Why? Who are these people?
Retards.
So like, does anything make this game stand out from JRPGs in general? Like, are there any unique gimmicks? Well, there's the whole percentage thing going on. There's like a RNG element to fighting. There's a shit ton of characters.
Times. There's tons of fucking characters.
The artwork is incredible.
Yeah, the music's great.
There's got this thing.
One of the big quote unquote gimmick, I guess, of the game is that you have 2 versions of the world that you can go back and forth from. We just haven't like started getting to that point because we're still learning things. So we just learned like, oh, you're in 2 separate worlds and everything, and shit's different and weird and fucked up.
I don't like this idea that like JRPGs in general don't stand out. I think most JRPGs are pretty diverse from each other. Like, we all have an idea of what a generic RPG is, but I think there are fewer of those than there are like great RPGs. But I could be wrong. I mean, certainly not the case on like the fucking Vita or something, but
there's a furry in this game, I forgot.
No thank you says, you may LARP as transhumanists, but have you implanted a magnet into the base of your penis to get stimulation from electromagnetic fields in the wild? No, you haven't, because you're posers and you will be left behind when metahumanism began. Also, did you hear the new Grimes joint? No, I don't listen to Grimes. That doesn't even sound like it would be good. Like, just getting random tingles in your dick as you walk around because you're fucking hitting electromagnetic fields. Like, I don't want that. Do you guys ever play any Shin Megami Tensei games? I mean, I have played some. Have you heard about Netflix's live-action Bebop? Are they gonna make Ein out of CGI? You know, because he's a data dog and stuff. Heh heh. Oh god. The battle theme is nice, it's just that it stays the same for the entire game and you can start to get tired of it after 40 hours of story. I get tired of every fucking... Like, that's true of every RPG. No matter what. I'm gonna get sick of the fucking battle theme. That's why I usually just turn off the music eventually. Also, this is already a different battle theme right now.
Yeah, the bosses have the boss theme, yeah.
John McAfee has Spike Spiegel as his Twitter avatar, which is pretty amusing.
You see the teaser for the
I don't know who that
live
is.
action?
No, I haven't seen it.
Didn't show anything, but just the fact that it exists is enough to upset me.
We were just talking about that, you know.
Oh.
I wasn't sure if you were bringing this up because of that or not.
I just bring it up to like remember how like this is a thing and it's real and it happened.
Yeah, but I mean, like I answered a question asking us how we felt about the Netflix live-action Bebop and if they're gonna make Ein out of CGI like 1 minute ago.
I brought it up because I'm like, there's a teaser sort of thing out.
Okay.
Like it's not just like this is something that's happening.
No thank you says also my country is implementing a literal mental health. I think he meant mental health AI pre-crime system very similar to Psychopaths, which is fun. What in the fuck? What country are you in?
Dude, that's like the fucking Chinese social credit system. So fucked.
ZZ Mop says, IDK man, I think the vast majority of JRPGs are pretty cut and paste, but obviously all the ones that come up in conversation about great games are standout. Have either of you guys played any Mega Man Battle Network games? No.
Played a little bit of the first one. It's alright.
How do you feel about Witcher 3?
I thought it was good, just not as good as Witcher 2.
Ciernak47 says, what's unique about the combat isn't the percents, dude, it's the stamina system and how you use characters in any order instead of having turns. There you go. The video about Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne would be amazing. Yeah, probably. No think he says that magnet thing is real, except it was a woman and she implanted it just behind her clitoris. She says going to a club, the speakers generate strong enough fields that it makes it intensely stimulating. To each their own, I guess.
Okay.
Well, it sounds way more fun if you're a girl, because then you're not walking around with a fucking boner.
True.
Girls can just get wet wherever they want. Tesla says, what are you supposed to use to kill someone in England, though? Butter knives? Peelers? I don't know what the fuck he was responding to.
There are no guns in there.
First time I hear someone liking Witcher 2 more than 3.
Hellbound.
Not the first time I've heard it. Instead of sending the police, though, they're gonna send some special mental health / social workers. I feel like ethical issues aside, a bunch of shrinks turning up at your house when you're insanely stressed is not going to calm you down. I don't even understand how they're, like, I need a lot more information on what this thing is to even comprehend what the fuck they're actually doing. You kill people in England with cyberbullying.
A lot of HPs.
Okay, so it's sounding like what that guy meant by Joseph Anderson controversy was just this stupid, like, he made a video that's basically like, hey guys, objectivity not implied just because I'm making a review. Like, it was called like subjectivity is implied or something like that. And I was like, yeah, no shit.
Every video ever.
How do we still need to explain this to 2018? How is this still happening? People were literally telling him, you state your opinions as facts too much. Like, no, I don't.
Fuck. I can't beat him up. There we go. Get fucked. Get fucked, Catman. I got you. I got you dead. Yeah, give me all those stat boosts.
People who don't understand criticism disgust me.
Whoa, he turned into an actual cat.
Wow, he looks awesome.
It was just a shadow.
Looks like a Pokemon.
I think I would be stupid enough to pick a fight with a rabid dog. I don't know, we killed it.
I do not still update the Google Doc of my anime rankings.
We got a cutscene.
Got too out of hand. Oh!
Something is happening.
Part of the reason I haven't been rating things anymore, well, a girl got, who even was she? I remember seeing her.
I don't know. Kid just took a hostage,
she's that cute.
Though.
This is a long cutscene. Soda. What I was trying to say, I don't even remember. I'm gonna go grab a soda.
Give me a soda. I need the caffeine.
Do you have any soda? I'm just asking for mine.
I don't know. Is there any Pepsis left?
I doubt it.
Then I probably don't have any soda. Well, we're not making any friends right now. Fucking being douchebags.
You can have a soda.
Domo. Domo arigato. Digi.
Hola gato.
El gato? Our favorite device?
Whose name is Viper. Oh, right. I was trying to explain that the reason I don't rate stuff anymore partially is because smoking weed all the time made me care a lot more about technical proficiency. Oh, did she get hit?
I think she did.
Oh, just on the arm. 'Tis but a scratch.
I don't know. She doesn't seem okay.
Uh-oh. Well, she fell off the balcony. What do you live for? What are you willing to die for? I've been waiting for you, Surge. Waiting a long, long time for you. Now come to me, Surge. The Chrono Trigger. Oh shit, he's got Chrono Trigger.
Oh my god!
He's got Chrono Trigger. Let's go to his house. Um, I was trying to say that when I'm smoking pot, I get way more attuned to technical, you know, mastery as opposed to like just like, you know, just enjoying something for its unique properties. So like when I go through all the stuff that I gave a 10 while I was high, it's all like art house shit and like stuff that's just like as visually intense as possible.
You say,
And it's like I know this stuff deserves to be considered a 9 or a 10. But like the only version of me who is going to be like wanting to watch this is the version that's blitzed.
you got up somehow. Somehow lived through this debacle.
Comrade Voodoo says, man, one time I posted some mildly suicidal shit on Instagram and somebody reported it to my college. They sent literal cops to my house and I was so much worse off.
Wow, disgusting. I hate people and I hope they die.
Excellent.
That's how I go from...
Excellent response, Tom. I feel that was like the most I felt anything you've said in a long time.
That's how I go from suicidal to homicidal, let me tell you.
Yeah. No, thank you, said I've had something very similar happen to me. These people do not understand mental health, and it is a travesty that they are the ones in power. Agreed. God, I've been fucking like yesterday. I was gonna write or record like a crazy ass black pilled vlog, but I stopped myself because I was like,
uh-oh. I think the blade was poisoned.
because I kept thinking of I was thinking about all this black pilled shit, and then I was gonna record a vlog about it, but then I couldn't remember where I had started on the train of thought I was on, and in my attempt to remember how I'd started that train of thought, I was having too much other train of thought, so eventually I couldn't remember what I was supposed to talk about. So I just went onto the PCP Discord and I wrote the following. That's a fucking okay. Jesus, why does this keep drifting? Smonking weeds has made me the most black-pilled man in America now. I can figure out why something is even more twisted or fucked about the world than even before realized at more levels of depth than any other man. I couldn't even become a monkey-esque edgelord YouTuber because my thoughts would be too edgy and people legitimately would not enjoy it. People of different races and social classes from mine would be offended. People with any particular political alignment would be offended. Even nihilists would be offended by how much meaning I find in the world to have been drained from it by the system. I would be targeted, possibly assassinated, for being seen as an attempt to lead an insurrection, even if I was just ranting the truth. I would be harangued by news media and political pundits. Ultimately, I would succumb to the rancor upon my family and go into deep hiding, homesteading some Midwestern mountainside, living quiet. So that's how I ended up. From now on, all subjective communication will be bracketed by 2 maybes.
Well, Harlequin girl's back.
Adult Swim and Crunchyroll are also producing a Blade Runner anime series with Shinji Aramaki, Kenji Kamiyama, and Shinichiro Watanabe. I think those are the guys that already made the Blade Runner short film for 2049. Personally, I think Watanabe hasn't made anything exceptional for a while. What do you think? I mean, Watanabe, the last thing I remember him working on was Space Dandy, which was the best thing that's ever happened. So, you know, you can still be hopeful. Why does Fujo art have such weird-ass proportions? I don't know. Digi's Shinsekai Yori vid was immensely satisfying for me, but he didn't even scratch the most offensive part of the show. That stupid, truly abysmal twist at literally the last minute. Man, that was retarded to say the least. I assume he means just that the rat people were humans? Because I already knew that going into the show, so...
Alright, we got the astral amulet. Means we can now travel between worlds.
Oh shit! This kid is ugly as sin. Is this a girl or a boy?
That's a boy, unfortunately.
What is he wearing?
Not enough.
No thank you music says, as I understand it, before actually implementing the system, the police sent it through this thing called the Turing Society, who have basically gone, what the fuck guys, this is ethically horrible and downright dangerous if implemented improperly, and it seems like they're shutting it down, or at least slowing it down. The reason this happened at all is police budgets here have been cut heavily, so we're trying to IDK be more effective with less resources.
Have you heard about the crazy fucking insane shit that's happening in China?
No.
How they have a social credit system in China now? Or there's
I think you told me something about that.
They basically scan, like, they just keep track of everything
that
you
kid
say
is like,
and
okay,
do.
I'm sorry, that kid is like pelvic thrusting in his fucking Speedo. Like, what is happening here? Does this not look like a sexual gesture? He looks like fucking hard gay.
I guess he is kind of hard gay. He's in our party now, though.
But he's got such a baby face. Anyway, what were you saying about the social credits in China?
Just like, they have this insane massive surveillance system that tracks basically everybody in the country. And everything you do, they track literally everything you do, and you have from this point now, from birth until death, you have a social credit system that is attached to you, and it affects everything. Like, one of the things that subtracts from your social credit is buying too many video games. The government says that is bad, and you can be forcibly ejected from society from having too low of a social credit score. So basically, if you're too much of a delinquent, you just are ejected from life.
Do you know that they've been raising taxes on video games in America?
Have they?
As I think there was something about this on the Dick Show. I don't know exactly what it was, but he was saying something about that they were gonna add a video game tax.
Yeah, some states have already.
It's ludicrous.
Were they doing it because of all the gambling and stuff? And they're like,
no, they're just doing it to get more money.
ugh. You know what I hate?
Comrade Voodoo says, social credit is being exaggerated so much by Western media. This is from Comrade Voodoo.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust you.
Not only is Sesame credit really scary, China also banned Winnie the Pooh. Why?
They did. If you in Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer in China, he's just like a white glow.
Why?
Because there was a meme where he was compared to one of the Chinese officials, and so they banned him.
Obscene.
Yeah, China is the shittiest place on earth. Except for maybe North Korea.
What about Russia? They kill you for being gay in Russia.
They kill you for being a woman in fucking China.
True. I don't know if that's so true.
Dude, do you ever think about how fucked up China is? I mean, really, there's 1.4 billion people in China.
Comrade Voodoo says, nah, I'm a musician. China's pretty good, though.
No. I would not ever go to China, ever. Not even to visit. Shit is fucked up.
What about Hong Kong?
I don't know enough about the difference between actual China and Hong Kong to say. I'm not educated.
I just consider it one of the most, awesome and beautiful cities on earth.
I'm sure lots of China's beautiful.
I mean, you went there in Deus Ex, didn't you?
Yeah, the fucking Hong Kong, or Hengsha is where it is in Deus Ex. That place is fucking miserable. Oh, can I make anything cool yet? What's that?
Fucking when I was playing Deus Ex Human Revolution, the reason I ended up stopping was that I've been playing for like probably 12 hours and I was real into it, and like I'd been very dedicated to trying to like get everything and like talk to everybody, and then like all of a sudden the game put me in China, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to the original place, like if there's shit I still haven't gotten done there. But now I have like a whole new place I have to learn everything about and do everything in. And I was really excited at first, like kind of, I was just like running around the place and I thought it was cool, but then I was like, this is going to be like an endeavor to beat this game at 100%, which was what I was trying to do. And then I had to take a flight, and then I just never got back to it. But one day, I will finish Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Dude, you have to. It's like one of my favorite games.
So you played the old Deus Ex games?
No, I need to. I have them. I want to play the original Deus Ex really bad.
It's really cool, dude.
The problem with the original Deus Ex is at the beginning of the game is the worst part of the game.
Yeah.
And I tried playing it, and I'm like, this is so gay.
I tried it.
And I stopped.
I did the tutorial on like a lot of the first level. It was just very dark. And I don't know, it seemed like it could be fun.
I mean, it's like super insanely fucking
deep,
well renowned. It's like up there, like
it's considered like the greatest game of all time by like most hardcore.
Yeah, and I'm sure.
But mostly,
it's like a Razor Fist game, you know.
Well, I think the thing about Deus Ex is that it has a lot more to do with the fact that it fulfills the potential of the genre to the fullest, and nothing else has done it since. Like, in the original Deus Ex, you could play through the entire game without ever having to fight. Like, you never had to do anything outside the stats that you decided to focus on. So, like, which this is true of a lot of... Okay, let's talk about, like, the PC purists of the early 2000s, late 90s, because they're the people who kind of control a lot of the narrative on what games are considered classics, because they ascribe that title to games that nobody wants to go back to play, which is unfair, but they do it out of the idea of what these games were. Not to say that they don't think these games are the most fun because of these ideas, just that if a new game came out that did all this shit but with better graphics, they'd be like, oh, Deus Ex is no longer the greatest game of all time. And it's kind of a laugh that gaming hasn't exceeded these games, but like, the old Western RPGs were all about the fact that you could like align your stats however the fuck you want and it would be a totally different game, basically. Like, if you made choices in the cutscenes, then those would have immediate ramifications on the world around you, and like the point of the game was that you could do it however you want to do it. But as technology's gotten better and it gets more and more expensive to make any aspect of a game, devs are scareder and scareder of hiding it, until the point where like Dark Souls gets this like extreme praise for the fact that it's like kind of open-ended and you can do things in any order, even though it's not nearly to the level of like what a Western RPG would have offered in the late 90s, early 2000s. So if you want to talk about an action game that really lets you play it however you want, you look to Deus Ex. It's a first-person shooter, ostensibly, but you can play it as somebody who just like picks locks the whole game and doesn't fight anything. Whereas...
How did you play Human Revolution?
I just killed people.
Alright, because I played it as a stealth game. I did stealth and hacking.
But you have to fight bosses.
Yeah.
And that was such a huge black mark on the game to the day. Like, Deus Ex fans love Human Revolution in general. Like, first of all, they don't like Adam Jensen because he looks like a douchebag.
He's my man.
But they also just, like, the main problem they have is the bottlenecking into boss fights, which were really hard in the original version of the game. Like, the director's cut is more celebrated because it fixed some of those issues.
It does fix that.
But, like, until they make a new Deus Ex that lets you be as open-ended as the original, people are never going to say it's better than the original, you know?
Which is why I want to play the original. I want to play that, and I want to play Daggerfall.
Daggerfall looks like a nightmare.
I think aesthetically it looks really cool.
Have you, like, looked at it in motion?
Yeah. I like that, like, old aesthetic to those kinds of games.
Go for it, dude. That game's map is twice the size of Great Britain.
I know, which is why I'm terrified to try. Alright, we're up here. Look around. Doing shit. I want loot!
Oh, the guy had said American, not musician. American. I just had my thing kind of far away from my face. Sonics96 says the scariest thing is happening in my country. Putin, Trump, and the Chinese president are having a reunion. I think World War III is about to happen. People think that constantly. I don't think World War III is anywhere near happening. I think Trump is low-key trying to just be a globalist. I think that's all he wants is to, like, admit that we can't have war anymore. Because we can't. ZZ Mop says, I played Daggerfall for the first time a couple of months ago. It's actually unplayably awful.
That's what I always fear about those kinds of games, that like the concept and the contents is really cool, but the presentation and just like the quality of life features have become
right. That's why I keep saying that, like, those people will say that those games are the greatest of all time, but it's mostly because they did that one thing that they think is like the, like, I think that when Deus Ex allowed you to play it that way, people viewed that as this huge step forward, but then gaming did not continue to step forward in that direction. It took a step backwards in that direction. It became
normiized, and it's like, what if we just put all the money into the graphics instead of like making graphics that are like impressive but not like titanic?
Yeah, and that's
just
why
focus on evolving the gameplay.
Guys who think that Deus Ex is the greatest game of all time tend to be the people who are like the most angry about the video game industry, you know? They're the ones who were like...
That's why Razor Fist is so mad all the time.
Right. They're the people who are like, things were just getting better and better until we hit this point where instead of making things bigger and more freedom and more expansive and more options, we curtailed that to make everything flow better and like look better, but at the cost of what I looked for in video games, you know? And because those people were around at the time, like, they don't, like, the fact that the new games play smoother doesn't mean as much to them because they were willing to play with those shitty controls, you know? Like, for me, it's hard to go back to like an old PC game that controls like dick, because it's like, I grew up with smoother controls than this, you know?
That's why I like mods and stuff that kind of like make older games more approachable. I can't ready my equipment. The thing that I don't like about this game so far, like my biggest problem, quote unquote, is that you can't buy new gear. You have to have items, like materials to forge it, and I'm just not finding any good mats, so I can't make any new items. It sucks.
Alright. I'm gonna read through some Daggerfall.
A bigger dick.
Zargi says, but Digi, Razor Fist said Daggerfall was the best game of all time or something. That was my attempt at
his voice.
His fan voice, his Maddox fan voice. You never walk around the overworld in Daggerfall. Only fast travel is viable. Daggerfall's house is probably the single most lifeless RPG universe in existence. The dungeons are random crazy shit. Unmodded Morrowind already looks disgusted. I can't imagine getting through Daggerfall. Unmodded Morrowind looks pretty awful, but there are some charming things about its aesthetic.
It just like looks interesting. There's big fucking mushrooms and shit. Like it's not a generic fantasy world.
Morrowind is aesthetically great, but holy shit, the graphics.
Did not age well.
Will TES 6 be shit? I don't like any of the Elder Scrolls.
I'm not a huge Elder Scrolls fan, but based on what Todd Howard's been saying, Elder Scrolls 6 sounds like it's gonna be Elder Scrolls shit. Because they're still not fixing the creation engine, they're still doing the same old bullshit. Fallout 76 has been a fucking disaster. And I've just been like watching people talk about it, and the state that that game is in is like unfathomably terrible. So, yeah, this like could kill Bethesda, which makes me mad because if Bethesda goes down, it goes down with them, and it don't deserve that shit.
No thank you says, Digi, I bet you have a nuanced opinion on this. Aside from pink lemonade, what are the best mixers for various spirits? If you drink rum, you could put it in a rum and coke, or a rum and, you could go with like chocolatey shit. I don't know, man. Just go online. Like the answers that people have generally come to are the right ones. I would say. I would say that like most spirits have like a distinct beverage that they go best into. I haven't done a ton of experimenting or anything. That's more Cider's realm. I'm a big fan of Oblivion and an even bigger fan of Morrowind. I played Skyrim again recently, having not enjoyed it in the past few attempts, and actually had a very enjoyable time just running around exploring dungeons and shit. I hate Skyrim.
I tried playing Skyrim, and I like the concept, but God, Bethesda cannot make fun combat to save its life. Like, it just... the game feel is, like, beyond bad.
Yeah.
And it just ruins it. It ruins it. Because, like...
Yeah. That's how I feel about all the Elder Scrolls games. They have no game feel.
When I play that game, I want to, like, be a cool guy and do cool stuff. And everything that I want to do in the game that would be cool doesn't feel cool. It feels unsatisfying. That's why
we gotta play fucking Dragon's Dogma. Because it's basically like Skyrim with a game. You know? It's like the world of Skyrim, but there's a game you can play in it. You know?
Games there's too many games, not enough time.
Tazelspa says, only today did I realize that Digi's fat guy voice in his 1 hour SAO vid is probably a Plinkett impression, right? Yes. I originally wrote that video to be a Mr. Plinkett style send up kind of thing. There's even a part where I'm like talking about, is that the script over there in the grass? Because I would have done that as an editing joke, but I decided not to edit the video because it was too long and I didn't think I could get it past copyright. But it would have had the title cards that say Part 1. Tom knows about all this because Tom did one himself.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Tommy. Id will just get bought by EA.
Nah, EA's fucking on death's door too. They lost like 30% of their stock value or some shit. Which, good. Fuck them. You know who else lost 30% of their value? Fucking Apple. Their new phones are doing really shit. They literally lost $300 billion worth of, like, stock. They went from $1.1 trillion down to like $800 billion in valuation. In like 4 days.
What happened?
Their new phones are not selling well.
Who's this? Apple?
Yeah. This is the track, right? From Termina.
It's a new phone, that the one that's bendable, or is that, I'm thinking of something else. That's their old phone that was bendable.
Yeah.
But not on purpose.
This one just starts at $1,000. So I don't really know what they were expecting.
A lot of fucking money.
You want to get a 256 gig iPhone XS Max? That'll be $1,449, please. For a fucking phone.
Oh, apparently Joseph Anderson did a big Dragon's Dogma video. Well, I'm glad to know somebody did it. ZZ Mop says, in Morrowind, by endgame, you're like this infinitely powerful levitating god that flies around at 10,000 miles per hour wearing best in-game best in slot god trinkets, while in Skyrim you're just a guy wearing dragon shit that does a lot of big yells.
I mean, I'm convinced.
Apparently the new iPhone doesn't even have a headphone dongle anymore.
They haven't for like 3 years. Most other new phones don't anymore either. That's the world we live in. It's time to go back. What's the beach? Use the necklace and travel between dimensions. Use the Annie. No. Whoa, I can change who's in front.
This has been the Watch Digibro put down a whole bag of fucking Utz popcorn.
It's not Utz. It's
Utz! Utz!
You gotta say it like a German.
Utz! Is that true?
I think so.
One of the things on my bucket list is to make a 90s DOS CRPG throwback game. What does everyone think people would want out of something like that?
I'm not your target demo, so I'm not sure.
A DOS CRPG? What does C stand for there?
Clunky with a C.
Huh? Canadian RPG?
You run your character, you can pick from 75 different genders.
Music is just wiggly air, change my mind. I think I've heard that one before in this chat.
Oh boy, I'm in the poison place.
These are not from German, right? You were saying you had to say it like German. Someone in the chat was like, how is it spelled? I'll show you how to say it like a real German. But it says Utz of Hanover. Oh, here you can look at it. Maybe you can see that. Computer roleplay game. No thank you says, Digibro will make a video called Aesthetic is Narrative and then disregard that sentiment as soon as we step out of a medium he's familiar with. What are you talking about? Aesthetic is the most important thing in the whole world to me. I dare you to name a time.
Oh boy, we're in the Hydra Marshes.
Yeah, you got it. UTZ.
Come on.
Like 5 minutes ago you criticized the Deus Ex games for becoming too focused on aesthetic or something. I was not criticizing them. I prefer the newer games because they look better. I was just explaining why. My point was that people who are into Deus Ex as their favorite game are going to be like, oh, they lessened the impact of the mechanics, so this game is not as good as the classic. Personally, I feel the total opposite. I feel like the new game has way cooler, like a way cooler world because of the aesthetic. Way more density of what you can do in that setting. Way better controls. But it just has fewer options, so it's romanticized in those people's mind. Sonics96 says, you know it would be a 300 IQ idea? Tom reading chat and Digi playing a game. It could happen.
We've done that a few times.
Are you still on a diet, Digi? More or less. I'm drinking 0-calorie sodas now.
So that alone will be a huge improvement considering the Mountain Dew you were
I lost a bunch of weight pretty quick, but have I been eating healthier? I definitely was eating like really restrictively for like a couple of weeks. Now it's just like, I mean, I'm eating at home and I'm making whatever May makes me, and she's been trying to pick healthy stuff for herself. So we've been drinking a lot of like fruit smoothies and shit. But did I also just put down half a bag of Utz cheese popcorn? I mean, I've been told popcorn's not nearly as bad for you as chips. Which I didn't even know. I thought popcorn was like the worst.
That was a waste of my time. This is a big base and I don't.
No, thank you says, okay, I misunderstood due to the fact that you literally didn't say that. I did say that. That was my whole point, was that that was how those fans felt. I mean, I hadn't said the part about how I felt differently. Like, I didn't say the part where I was like, oh, I prefer the new games. But, like, I never said that I felt the way that those people did. I was merely trying to explain it. As somebody who watches lots and lots of analysis videos from people like that. Apparently, Utz is probably a correct translation of the German word Utz. Joseph Anderson actually came under fire from some people recently for making a video called Subjectivity is Implied, where he basically says the same thing as your Objectively Good vlog from 2 years ago. He did it because people said they had a problem with him explaining why horror games don't scare him, and they don't get it was just his personal opinion on the matter. How are people this stupid? I wish I knew, my dude. Whoa, those effects. Those are cool looking.
Damn, that was a ton of damage.
Digi, Nate, and Munchie used the word aesthetic in so many contexts that it's completely lost its meaning to me. That's fair. There's a streamer live right now that is sponsored to watch a football game. This guy is getting paid for doing absolutely nothing.
You know, everything you just said pissed me off.
Sponsored by who and why? Look at the trailer for the new Shrek fan remake.
Yo, there's some terrifying things being talked about in the chat right now.
He's being sponsored by the NFL to watch a football game. Who is this Twitch streamer? Why are they paying him so much to watch football? Is this like a subversive marketing gag? Like where they're like, oh haha, you guys want esports on TV, well we want football on Twitch? Like, one thing I like about this game is that since it has so many party members, I can hope all the minor cool characters who wouldn't be party members in other RPGs be playable.
I think the rule is if they have a portrait, they're recruitable.
Yeah, that's what CNN says. Are you sad seasonal anime has gone to shit? I mean, I've always thought seasonal anime was shit. Because most anime is shit. Just as is true of any other medium. Sturgeon's Revelation. 90% of everything is shit. I completely agree with it. However, is it also, like, particularly bad right now? Yes. But next season, I was looking at the chart for next season, and there's actually some stuff that actually looks potentially good. Because last season sucked. And I can't comment on the spring, because I didn't watch most of the spring shit. Winter was passable. But, like, the summer season was not very good. And then transitioning into fall, I was going to make a video where I was going to be like, here's the stuff that's most worth looking forward to out of the fall season. And, like, nothing looked like it was worth looking forward to, except for, like, maybe Bloom Into You. That was, like, it. And I was like, wow, this season looks like garbage. And I still feel that way. I haven't watched much of it, but it just looks like garbage. Like, the only show I had any excitement over was, like, Zombieland Saga for the first 2 episodes, and then that quickly went to shit. IMO. I've heard it picked up or something. I don't even care. Episodes 3 and 4 were really bad. And then, like... But next season, it looked like there was some okay stuff. So I'm not going to give up hope entirely. But if next season comes out and anime is bad, I'm going to be like, yo... It's over. Calling it here. Comrade Voodoo, how can you say this season has been solid? What has been solid this season? Cernak says, speaking of seasonal anime, has Tom watched Gridman yet? I maintain he'd like it. It's pure toku. I don't even think that.
I have not.
I just thought it was really boring and bad. Thoughts on Rika Thighs? Don't know what that is.
The girl from Gridman.
Oh. I didn't think the girls in Gridman were hot, like watching the show itself.
You're like the only person in the world who thinks that.
They look hot in the fan art of them. Like, they don't look hot in the show. Like, you see pictures of people drawing them online and they all make them look cute, but like, when you see them in the show, everybody's designs look really bland. At least that's how I felt. I could be remembering the wrong shots. Maybe they look cute sometimes, but like, the art seemed real inconsistent. Comrade Voodoo says, I'm honestly loving Bunny Girl and Gridman. I don't want to watch the Bunny Girl show because it looks like it's just Reddit. I don't want that. It looks a lot like, what I've heard about it makes it sound like it would be like, what's that one show about the high schoolers that I, like, made like an hour-long video ranting about how I hated it? I don't remember. Digi, is your AOTY still DMC? Devilman Crybaby? Probably. And that's not saying much, really. The show's probably worth like an 8 out of 10. I know I gave it like a 9 at the time. But like, it's probably worth like an 8. Pop Team Epic's worth like an 8. I was having fun with Hisone Tommaso Tom, but I think I only watched the first like 4 episodes of it. Same goes with, what's it called? The one from last season with the fucking... the CG. What was the good show from last season? There's High Score Girl. I didn't finish that either, which I like. And then, what's the one? The one that Jeff was like, Anime of the Year. We watched the first 4 episodes and it was good. It was about like superheroes and like the weird giant alien things that fucking... God damn it. He turns into a cat robot.
Oh. The Biscuit Hammer guy.
Yeah, the Biscuit Hammer guy.
I forgot that show's called.
Ah! How come I can't remember?
It wasn't that good. It's probably really
It
good.
was that
It was
good.
good.
It was really good. We just only watched the first 4 episodes of it. Planet With.
Yeah,
That's what it was called. Planet With. The first 4 episodes of that were good. First 4 episodes of High Score Girl were good. And Goku Dolls. But nothing that if I said it was AOTY would I be like, oh, and that means this was a good year for anime. Apparently spring of next year there's gonna be a new Ikuhara show. That's cool. This is a boss.
Yeah, looks like it.
Sounds like it.
Indeed.
Where in the fuck are you?
We're in the Hydra marshes right now. We're back to the other world because in the world we were in, Hydras were hunted to extinction because they have curative properties. And so Kid was poisoned when she got stabbed, so we had to go back to this world where the Hydras still exist, find a Hydra, kill it, get the antidote, and bring it back.
Is this a Hydra?
This is a Hydra.
Very interesting take on the Hydra.
Indeed.
Kind of more of a sandworm.
Maybe it was a translation error. Who the fuck knows?
This place looks dope as fuck, though.
Yeah, Hydra Marsh is pretty cool. Using the old dash and slash.
Copex Digiboy asks, is all modern art dying? Anime is dead, video game industry is collapsing, YouTube is dead. Game industry is not collapsing. The AAA industry might be collapsing, but video games are doing great.
Yeah.
It's just people who have been making bad business decisions for over a decade that are collapsing.
I mean, CD Projekt Red is still doing great. They just had a big business meeting. Like, you know, they have like publicly traded companies have like, you know, their quarter like calls and shit where they have to like, be like, oh, what are we doing? And the CEO of CD Projekt Red was just like, yeah, our strategy is to make great games, people buy them, and then we get money. And that's kind of what we're doing.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, so it's just like, well, everyone else like, we need to invest in more services. This guy's just like, what if we just made games that kicked ass?
Yeah.
So.
The music industry is really healthy at the moment, as far as I know. It's constantly changing. There was like a period of like 10 years where it was like, albums are dead, all anybody cares about is singles. And then all of a sudden this year, Spotify reached a level where now it's like albums are in and singles are dead. Like singles just up and died this year because like everybody has Spotify now. And because every album is on Spotify and people just like to stream shit and not fucking have to worry about it. That's why like Drake was releasing like playlists. It was like not even an album, he just released a playlist. It's like, yeah, people just want to listen to a lot of music at once. I think what we're coming to realize is that most people just want a constant drip feed of like art just to be happening in the background of their everyday life. And like that could either take the form of music or listening to people talk or watching people play video games or whatever. People just want there to be something that they can passively turn to and consume on the side. And I completely understand it because I do it myself. And like, you know, for me it's like YouTube videos and podcasts. Tom listens to like people talk about politics and tech shit. Like, everybody has something they need to just idly throw on. And it's becoming so easy to fill all of your like possible silent time with things like that like anything in that direction is making the big bucks these days.
Right.
But yeah, like music is naturally predisposed to being easy to replay, being able to like put on an album and it lasts an hour and that's what you've got occupying like the air for that time, you know, while you're doing something else. So I think it'll always be healthy for that reason. It's just about the paradigm with which you create it. But like intensive art depends a little bit more on like time and place, because it's like people are gonna have to engage with this thing, so it has to be able to like really be worth their time in their own mind. Sonic says, now that I watched the guy streaming the football for like 10 minutes, I understand why he is getting paid. This guy is very funny. Well, there you go.
Holy shit, if I don't kill him this turn, we lose.
How is the food industry? Do people still eat in 2018? Decreasingly so.
Fuck. Oh, wait. Oh my god. With 8 HP, with one guy left, I beat this thing. Fucking miracle.
You got him?
Barely.
Oh. Yeah, this is probably a good sign to save and fucking quit.
Alright.
At 2 hours 7.
Cool. Save points like one screen.
After the last stream, I went in marathon seasons 1 through 3 of Venture Bros, and it was genuinely the first time I've enjoyed a long-running series in a while. So thanks for the recommendation, Digi. No problem. Heliox responded, good shit, Venture Bros is very clean. Everybody's saying big cum, that kill was clutch as fuck.
It was. This was the party stream we'd all be drinking right now.
Hi. We have not actually played our own drinking game on the party stream yet. I created it and then forgot about it.
Well, the last party stream was not a party stream at all.
No, the last party stream was a dead stream. And then the stream before that, there was no party stream because of the Thanksgiving. Or was that the one after Thanksgiving?
Exactly.
Never mind.
Why
The
would
one
you-
before the last one was the one where we played Pokemon.
Why is
So it wasn't quite a party stream. The one before that was the Devil May Cry one, which was the first party stream.
I was like right next to a save point, and then it kicked me back to the beginning of the area, which I guess isn't bad. I guess I could just go back, but
Yeah, just get out of this fuck jungle.
God, place is hell. Oh God, can I not go back now? Am I gotta go through the whole area
Isn't
again?
that up there, in the way?
I can only go down.
No, the up. Go up that way. Isn't that the exit?
No, this is to go deeper into the area, so I guess I gotta go through the whole thing again now.
No.
God damn it.
Even that little cave there wasn't a thing.
No.
Meh. Well, you just gotta not run into anything.
I don't really think.
Do they have aggro? If they see you, will they attack you? Or...
No, they're dumb. This game came out in 2000. Aggro wasn't invented yet.
It can't be true. I could fly if I wanted to.
Here we go. Alright. The D is done.
Alright, everybody. See you next time.
Same
on
games
I Am
time.
Game.
Same games channel.
Be the games you want to see.
Give us money.